sheep and goat house. Okay, sheep and goat house, we usually using this kind of wood, but I personally don't like wood. Why? It's not because wood is not good for, it's not good enough. It's because wood always will hiding bacteria and some kind of parasite. Okay, so in the future, be careful. If you can use another stainless steel, you can use stainless steel. And in the future, if you really want to separate the young lamb with goat or sheep, though outside, and then you can avoid the you to stealing the lamb's food, and then you can design like this way. You can design temporary, or you can design for long times design. It's okay, no problem. And of course, you can have design this kind of slot for by using this kind of material without any trouble, because nowadays this kind of material is quite popular in whole place. And be careful, don't use cast iron or some kind of iron, because that kind of iron are easily to become rust. And use stainless steel, and you may think that is an expensive one. But one of the experts told me, said, do you consider your housing is for 20 years, 30 years, or you just consider your housing for 5 years? So in this kind of idea, that is, you can correct the feces underneath, but you can allow the animal lie down on the top or walking on the top. And why I take this picture, I will show you, say, how big of the surface area they will occupy. Okay, so the sheep and the goat, once they are young, they will jump out. So we increase one more fence. Okay, so this is also important. And so we can allow them to eat properly. And the breeding is a good breed. And you know, this is very important. Maybe I'm talking here, you were laughing, because in my country, many people don't like boar, goat. Okay, this is very interesting, because they think the boar goat, the meat quality is not good enough. But interesting enough, all my neighbor countries, like Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, and China, Philippines, maybe Indonesia, you will find that boar is very popular in this area. Okay, so you will find one thing, that is some kind of business people try to control this kind of market. And this is also very, very important. Be careful to select the good breed. Okay, and for example, many people don't like the Barbados. And we found the Barbados meat quality is really very good. Okay, so this is a very important part. How to, this kind of things, how to arrange, say, whether this breed is good or not. So, the first important thing is to measure their body weight again. If we can measure their body weight again from birth until they cannot increase their body weight, and then we will know their feed efficiency will be very good enough. Okay, this is very important. For example, native chicken, native sheep and goat, and you will find if you feed them more longer, for example, native one, if you feed them more than 20, 30 kilos body weight, and then you will find they cannot easily to have a higher efficiency, because their growth rate is really very bad after 20, 30 kilos. But for the ordinary sheep and goat, for example, Nubia and some kind of Barbados sheep, they only can increase about 40 to 50 kilos. And if you increase their the final body weight, the efficiency is very, very bad. So this is all the basic knowledge. We can using it for the farmers. We try don't force farmer to raising their animals to the very higher body weight. Okay, this is a very important part. For example, boar, goat, you can raise them until 70, 80, 90. They even can grow properly in this kind of body weight. So you have to choose the good one, good breed. Okay, and this is a very important one. It also says the best one is not just the pure, provide them pure animal breeding knowledge. You better provide them some knowledge to say, please select the daughters which produce by higher milk production or ewe or goat or sheep or higher growth rate. Okay, always select the best one. Always select the best one. And don't tell them, say, this kind of heritability, just tell them heritability, just tell them this kind of hybrid figures. Don't just tell them like this way. You just tell them how to select. Okay, that is will be in good kind of situation. We have a lot of breed. And at the moment, I think boy is more popular, and of course the other breed is more popular too. Okay, my student working with my PhD student working with this kind of so-called blackberry sheep. Blackberry sheep is also called Barbados sheep. This is a meat-type sheep. Okay, so we found this kind of sheep is quite good in my country. Okay, so why not we using this kind of sheep? And we teach the farms to know everything about the general. We teach the farm about how to measure all these kind of things. Why we teach them these kind of things? It's not because this is academical. This is because if you teach them, you can using very simple way to measure their body weight. Okay, and once you know their body weight, you can know you don't need the weighing machine if the farmer is small one. Okay, so this is very important to select like this way. And another one is AI. Everyone says AI, that is advanced technology. We should not provide it for the farmer. That is not true. In my country, we are doing like this way. We are using AI by a special person. And if anyone wants to have AI, and then our people just go out to their farm and help them to have AI. So in this case, the government can do something, extension people can do something, and then the people's sheep and the goat can improve their performance, go through the AI. Don't think AI is difficult one. AI knows any advanced technology. AI itself is interesting one, but it's not so-called advanced technology. Okay, this is very good to improve the performance. Okay, if you can improve the performance through the AI, not only the growth rate, but also the milk production. Remember, it's provided by the government. Remember, this is provided by the company. Remember, this is provided by the university. Okay, you just ride a motorcycle in the old time. Okay, we have a motorcycle and have a box, and this box can keep the semen inside, and then we visit the farm and we immediately help them to do all this kind of AI. Okay, this is very important. The only thing we need is teach them to learn how to observe the heat. Okay, and of course, observe the heat is easy. Okay, so teach them this part, and then you will find you can use the AI. And another thing, the government also can use advanced knowledge. Government organization, company, or university, you can also use the advanced knowledge to make diagnosis. Diagnosis for what? For pregnant, doing this kind of AI, artificial insemination. And this is another one is my student. Okay, my Taiwanese student. Their cooperation very good, and then doing artificial insemination without any trouble. So remember, if you have a technician, go out, help the farmer to do all these kind of things. Then the farmer's performance can improve a lot. Okay, and then you can see this Thai student to have a pregnant test. Okay, and the pregnant test is so serious. At the beginning, I think this is rubbish. Sorry to say that, I'm a professor, but I still think this is rubbish. But later I found I have to using the pregnant test because I don't know which one do not pregnant. Which one do not pregnant? So you better to have a pregnant test to help them. If not pregnant, sold out. And then you can reduce a lots of waste of the feeds. So modern technology is not to say show off. modern technology is simply to help them. And this kind of help them, it's not help the farmer to do it. It's ask the government agency, company agent, university agent, okay, just riding this kind of motorcycle to, you can say it's extension people, to help them to do all this kind of work, okay? And of course, lighting system we mentioned before, sorry about that. And the nutrition. And the nutrition is very important, okay? The balanced mineral is become so important, but we are not easy to explain to the farmers because farmers only think you ask me to pay a lot to buy the concentration. But did you notice, at the beginning, you can feed them milk like this way. Why not? And this is a complicated way. We have a very simple way in home. Okay, complicated way is this is did by my student, and then my student expanded to the many place. Say many place using this method. Okay, why not? You can very easily to milk them for small farm. I will repeat it again for small farm. Okay, and then sorry. And then you can, of course, you can using this kind of machine, but I'm not persuading you to do that because that is too expensive. Okay, so we will find the easy way. And many people say that nutrition is not important. This is I found in one of the Asia country. One day I followed my friends to the mountain area, and I found all the sheep is licking on the stone. I said, my goodness, there are shortage of minerals. My friend said, no. My professor friend said, no way. They will not shortage this kind of minerals. I said, 100%. And later, they did the experiment. They found that there are shortage of minerals. So you better to provide them minerals. Okay? For example, this is the minerals. If you shortage of minerals, and all the minerals will leaking like this way. And if you can feed them feeds. That is our university's sheep farm. And you can feed them feeds, and then they immediately will reduce the mineral leaking. And then they will immediately reduce the minerals leaking. That means minerals leaking depends on your feeds. If your feeds is completed feeds, and then they will use less of the mineral brick. And if you do not provide them feeds, and you have to provide them this kind of mineral bricks, okay? And this kind of mineral brick is easy, and you put it in the house, and when they come back from the outside, they can leak in the evening, and so they can get enough this nutrient. This is a so-called advanced knowledge, but using very simple way to do it, okay? And another thing is, sorry, you cannot easy to see, is amino acid. Interesting enough, okay, many people don't believe the ruminant animal need amino acid. But you have to understand one thing. 45 years ago, my classmate, he studied the amino acid requirement for the cattle. And then I suddenly realized one thing. Yes, we still need amino acid, okay, by many ways. For example, bypass is one of the methods. Another way is how to let them synthetic this kind of mineral, this kind of amino acid in the lumen. Okay, this is another way to do it. Okay, be careful. All this kind of knowledge is modern knowledge, but we have to tell them how to do it. For example, bypass. Methylene, bypass, lysine, all these kind of things, you can do that. You also need to teach them, don't just let the animal grazing outside. Grazing outside, you will really damage all this kind of land. All this kind of land is damaged. Okay? I personally don't like some people emphasize a lot, say, free range is the best one. I agree free range, but I'm not think the free range is the best one. Because free range will damage all this land by sheep, by goat, by chicken, by cattle, and even by the pigs. So you can see, you damage everything, everywhere. And another thing we have to teach them, that is you should not own too much about sheep and goat. You should own the efficiency sheep and goat. Modern technology tells us you have to own enough this kind of sheep and goat, efficient growth rate, sheep and goat. But unfortunately, one of my students studied one thing, that is, if you do not have enough pigs, sheep, goats, or cattle, you cannot marry, because people don't believe you are rich enough. So this is another thing we have to overcome. Otherwise, in the future, we will cause all this kind of desert things happen. Okay? Flush. And on the nutrition part, except that kind of, we mentioned before, and another one is flush. And the flush became so important when I was a student in Aberdeen University. At that time, Professor Oskov is also one of my teacher. I should not say supervisor, because my supervisor have another Webster and Dr. Fuller. But he told us, said, please flush them, and then you can get a twin. And once you get a twin, every year you really increase the total number of your sheep and goat number, so you can earn a lot of money. Sorry to say that, when I go back to university, the first year, we only average litter size is 1.1 to 1.2. I really disappoint. I told my students, said, please flush them, and then you can increase. But nobody believed me. Okay? And then we said, please do it. And then finally, the end of second year is 1.8 to 1.9. Okay? So it's very important. You can see the litter size is increased. Okay? And once they immediately became the twins. This is a Barbados sheep. Okay? And to avoid nutrition disease, of course, we need to care for avoid the nutrition disease. For example, feed them concentrate first, and then feed them and the roughage. Okay, don't feed them roughage first. Feed them roughage first, and then feed them concentrate. Don't feed them concentrate first. Okay, this is very important. And then we have to be careful to feed them enough nutrient feeds. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so they can get the twin. Okay, and of course, yes, I will try to finish. And of course, you will kind of say, you in the future, you can provide them feeds like this way, simple way. Okay, and then you can let them eat enough. The final one, remember, you don't need to have a very big silage area. You can make silage like this way. And then the silage like this way, I think we also learn from Thailand. They are also doing like this thing. So you can see, we can feed them according to sheep and goat to do it. Don't forget, sheep and goat not to eat too much. So we can do it like this way in the small farmer system. Okay, of course, management, you have to be very careful to have a good management, look after your animal carefully, and then you can get a good performance. And avoid the heat stress. And heat stress is really serious way. Marketing, training, all these kind of things. When I was young, I really enjoy like this way. Okay? And you cannot really easily to carry the sheep and the goat. So please try to find a good way to management of them. When I training in the Netherlands, and we find how to trimming the hoof trimming. Okay, this you can see I wear a lot of clothes. It's because very cold in that area. Okay, so the last one is waste management. Waste management, you can design like this way, but I advise you don't design like this way, because this way is not easy to correct. Okay, and you can using this simple way. You can using this kind of simple way to correct your waste. Sorry all the time. And of course, milk. You like teach them how to dealing with milk to the consumer, and of course you have to know all these kind of things. And in Taiwan we have meat, this kind of sheep and goat meat, and we have a different eating method. Okay, almost we eat everything. Sorry about that. Okay, this is my presentation, and my conclusion is: please, using your knowledge, provide for the farms, and don't only consider HCI. HCI can let you promotion, but HCI cannot feed the farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Liang Chou Hsia, for the nice presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have 10 minutes for discussion. Maybe if you want to give a question, please raise your hand. One. Okay, one minute. Please, Mr. Yoni and your institution.
Thank you. My name is John Umbo. I'm from Manado, North Sulawesi, Samratulangi University. My question is just a simple question actually. You mentioned at the earlier of your presentation that the temperature actually have a really negative effects on rather physiological or nutritional on animal production. In many cases in tropical countries, we always face the effect of the heat stress, because together the high environmental temperature together with the high humidity level, it can really have a negative or detrimental effects on animals. So, what is your feeding strategy, or maybe nutritionally approach to cope with, or at least to reduce the effect of negative effects of heat stress? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. This kind of this question is a really good one. Okay, very practical one. My experience, because my background is on the environmental temperature, my master degree is on the temperature and the nutrition interaction. So, from the nutrition point of view, you better to ask a farmer to get up early. Sorry, I'm promote farmer have to get up about 5 o'clock or even early. In your country it's easy, because I found your people, everyone is get up very early. Okay? Because the early, the more cool, so they can eat more. And after 7 o'clock, once you provide them any kind of straw, hay, or fresh grass, and you will find they will have a higher heat increment. And once they have a heat increment, they cannot eat enough feeds or any kind of feeds, eat concentrated or grass or hay. Okay, this is very important. And of course, if the farmer can afford the concentrate, we better to provide it. The second one is provide them a little bit more concentrate. Okay, because concentrate produce less heat increment in the very hot temperature. But if the farmer cannot afford, so we provide them grass in the early morning, especially in the very early morning. But remember, don't provide them in the later evening. Because the later evening, for example, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and at that time, they already go to sleep. Okay? And if you provide them feed like this way, they will left all this kind of grass. And then they get up early and they eat the residue of the grass. And once they eat the residue of grass, the second day they cannot eat enough fresh, good quality grass. So this is the first one. From the nutrition point of view, of course, we cannot say easily. We provide them NaHCO3. we provide them MGO. And we doing all these kind of things, but be careful. Our experiments show you cannot increase too much about the NaHCO3. Maybe 1% is already maximum. Okay, MGO is the same. Okay, so be careful to increase all this kind of additive. And another very important thing is we provide them feeds. And be careful, don't provide them too high of the fibers. Okay, this is very important. And another thing, interesting enough, if you provide them only grass, you will find the meat quality will not be good enough. And if you provide them more concentrate, and then you will find their meat quality is good enough. Today, I think, is any New Zealand speaker here? Any New Zealand? No, I'm lucky. Because many years ago, we found that New Zealand is a lucky country. They provide them grass only for the sheep or goat or cattle. But now you will find that if you want the meat quality is good, you have to provide them a little bit of concentrate. Okay, and I think that Australia also changed at the moment. They are feeding more concentrate now, because this is an intramuscular fat will be increased. Okay, this is another thing. On the other hand is housing. Housing, we can provide them sprinkler on the top of the roof. But only one thing, please only provide them every 20 minutes, only 2 minutes sprinkle. Okay, let them evaporate. And once they evaporate, they will carry out the heat. 1 gram of the water evaporation will carry 547 calories. But 1 gram of the water goes through your body, only carry out, maybe if the water temperature is, say, 25, and skin temperature is about, say, 37, or maximum 37. And so this only carry 17 calories. So the best way is to have interval sprinkle. Okay, this interval sprinkle is very important. If this kind of animal is produce wool, and then this kind of sprinkle should be only sprinkle and then stop immediately. Otherwise, will cause some other kind of trouble for the wool. Okay, so all this kind of method is the second method. The third method is fence. Of course, need money. But if you have open design house, that is good enough. If your housing design have a good insulation material, and then it's much better. But in the poor tropical area, small farms, they do not have this kind of facility. So how to do that? We usually using the palm tree leaves on the top, or using some kind of other things on the top. But remember, this kind of palm tree leaves or straw on the top of the roof have good insulation, this kind of quality, but they usually will grow insects. So you have to change every 3 or 4 years. This is very common in Japan. Okay, they are in the cold areas, they also need this kind of insulation material. Okay, so this is another way to reduce the heat stress. The last one, I dare not to say this is the easy way. Provide them shelter. Okay, provide them a lot of shelter. And once you have shelter, you have this kind of cool area, and then they will find the area to hiding themselves, so they can avoid the heat stress. Remember, heat stress reduce the food intake. Heat stress causes their abnormal behavior. Heat stress causes them very, very low reproduction performance. Sorry, because I'm studying this area, so I have to answer you such long. Usually people say the professor always have a very bad answer. It's very long answer. Should be like a skirt. The shorter the better.
That is very clear, I think. Okay, another question, just one question more. Okay, please.
One thing very much for the excellent presentation. My name is Manuel Beno. I'm from Nusa Tenggara University, Kupang. Still related to the previous question, in terms of the free range, let's say for cattle, what do you think about the feed? It's okay. We have a good shelter, we can manage everything. But what about the free range? What can we do to control the temperature? So at the same time, we can increase the production. Because we see in most of the tropical countries, we know that most farmers just let the animal graze outside. So I think it's a bit difficult to control the temperature. Thank you.
I'm not quite 100% catch your words.
In the free range, they usually have no house, even shelter.
Yes, okay, okay.
How can we
Okay,
avoid this problem?
very good. I'm lucky, you know. I'm first time involved in the zoo animal. About 40 years ago, I involved in the zoo animals. They also tell me, say, during the exhibition time, they cannot hide it. So where they can go? We said, please plant a lot of tree. And once you plant a lot of tree, remember always protect the tree. So we learn a lot of methods to protect the tree. Don't allow the sheep, goat, or cattle to biting the skin of the tree. Okay? And once this kind of method is very popular in the New Zealand, in the many American, this kind of, even in the South American country. They are very good to protect the tree, don't let them to bite this kind of tree. And then once the tree grows up, and then you will find they have a very good shelter area, and so the animal can hide in there. I take a lot of this kind of picture for not only for the sheep, goat, and cattle, but also, do you know, providing the wallow area for the water buffalo, and this is the expertise is here, you know. So I cannot say something more. And then you also can find a lot of good way to provide them this kind of shelter. Shelter is very important. Okay, if they do not have a housing. Okay, if you provide them housing, I tell you one thing, that is even worse, because you're using this kind of metal material, and this kind of heat, radiation of heat is really terrible heat. Okay, and another method is, I think you notice in the orchid garden, they have this kind of black net. This kind of black net you put on the top, you also can produce very good shelter. Okay, do all best. The last thing I forgot to answer this gentleman's question, that is water. Always provide them enough water. Okay.